Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the canyon. Yella welcomes you to Dead Limit, which was selected by the wheels. The wheels, once again. How do they know? It's wood and vinyl, and they know. They know things, which is, since the last time Yella was featured on screen, Yella has undergone, let us say, a number of changes. Yella just pulled up that vert face at Dead Limit without a bump. Yella is attracting bees because he is Yella. Hello, bee. And during the kernel build, there was some parts swapperoo going on. The kernel and the GFO are both fitted with Hobbywing fusions. They were not always fitted with Hobbywing fusions. When the GFO was built, it was the intention to put an Outrunner speed control and an Outrunner in there and run him on 4S. So he was outfitted with an NSDRC RS500B. It was then later decided that the GFO was just going to go on to a Fusion Pro, which is 3S limited. So now he had a servo that was being underused. So we looked around the fleet and we thought, what do we have that we can just drop a 4S servo into and he can just do it with no problem? Yella being Outrunner equipped, running on a tiny Outrunner. Now, mind you, this low speed right here, let's do this. What you're witnessing right there, that's 4S and a 1650 kV, tiny little puny little Outrunner, a Brood S. He makes no noise. He goes real slow. But he's got the bump. He's like a mountain goat. He will jump from plateau to plateau. So he was outfitted with 4S. And mind you, I've done some crazy things recently, like take a Fusion out to put a different brushed motor in. Taken AGFRC SA75, inarguably one of my favorite servos of all time, remove that in favor of a different servo. But in this case, the RS500B, which is one of my favorite 4S servos. So this is, once again, certainly that situation of we don't know until we know. So he loves his 500. If your front end can move your rear end that much, your servo has got more than enough sauce. Can we do this without falling into the impromptu planter? I'm hoping that through the window, I can see the Outrunner turning in the sunlight there through the window. I'm hoping that it shows through the lens. So Yella has always been particularly maneuverable, as has been documented in videos. Yella is definitely not an ecto. Born as an ecto, virtually nothing remains except for like the axles. He's running TRX4 shocks, which occurs to me now, certainly, inarguably, he is running springs that are way too stiff. The springs are basically at full extension because when he was converted to a carbon fiber chassis, we didn't change the springs. When everything that's been done to him, we never changed the springs. He's still running TRX4 shocks, but element blues in the front and element grays in the rear. Trying to pull the front end right here. There we go. Oh, also, let's take the lead, and that's LEDE, and we'll shove it under a desk. Yella is now fitted with SL3D Squid'nserts, and there should be a picture right here, and you will notice, baby, they're clear. And when the guy from SL3D was sending them out, he was like, I just want to let you know they're clear. Brother, they should all be printed in clear, because that looks like you're putting gemstones up in your tires. I prefer the clear to the black, like, by a lot. Those look super dope. These are the, if not Deep Woods specific, then made in a little bit wider to fit a Deep Woods. And when I mounted them, we'll do the chef's kiss. They go in there so nice. And the bench feel is off the charts. And the compliance combined with this, there it is again. my second favorite C word. They just grab, and you can go so slow. I am gonna have to, we are going to have to escape from dead limit a little, because there's some tests I want to do in here, and nobody watches Wheelin' Wednesday anyway. So if I slip in the fact that this is a tiny little compact mini review of the SL3D custom SL3D inserts that will fit Duratrax tires, which, I mean, if you want to talk about a marriage, fantastico, because Duratrax tires are cheaper than other tires, and SL3D inserts are cheaper than other 3D printed inserts. So you can get a lot, like, this is serious bang for your buck stuff. Once, can I do this without walking over there? No. Once Slot Machine was named, I don't know where dead limit starts and where dead limit ends. What I do know is that I apparently love a 3D printed insert because I, much like my double bun, and you know, though there's never gonna be a day that there aren't double buns in service in the fleet, because there are just some rigs, and by some rigs I mean the lion's share of them, that I'm not hustling out to spend the money on doing it. Yeah, I mean, it's not wasted money. You're not getting robbed in any way on a 3D printed insert. They deliver for the money, and the fact that things like Crawler Innovations foams exist, like Lil Novas, cost more than what are in these tires. And dual stage foams are they're in a different class. This is, I genuinely, I can foresee a future where the 3D printed insert has not fully taken over, right? The open cell, I think, is always going to be around. I can see that those competitive rules coming down to where if you're running a 3D printed insert, it's gonna like bump you up a class or something, or it's gonna take points away or add points, or however the scoring works. But there's going to be some sort of penalty for running 3D printed, because they are an advantage. They're an advantage here. They're an advantage on everything I've tested them in. And the only barrier to them that I can see is cost. So this is what I genuinely love Wheelin' Wednesday for, because sometimes I forget. I forget what I need to test. I forget who needs what. I am drunk on the absolute low of this Outrunner on 4S, and then just torque. Ooh. But yeah, I think Yella really needs resprung, because he's sitting up so high. I want to hit this without moving my setup and picking up my bucket chair. I want to hit this face right here. I don't know why I don't use this little section right here for more testing purposes. Let's see if I can pull up this. Getting into a little one-wheel motion there. Nice skirt around the side. Little precipice there. Maneuverability is properly high. And Yella historically has been particularly maneuverable. And if anything, that's just more pronounced now. Whee! Yeah, self-righting, not generally an issue on 4S. I'm gonna try to, let's go straight at this. There's a little section of that face that's, come on, pull it up. Nope. There's a little section right up here that looks pretty vertical. And again, the deep woods, like still, the MT 1904 G-Mids, they came close. I've had some tires that have come pretty close in loaded down performance, but the deep woods, you can go throw Brodies in a mud puddle or just in a mud flat and then go climb a rock and these will just go right up. I'm getting a little slip right there because there's so much dirt in the tires. Maybe it's more vertical than I even oh, no. Yeah, get up there. Get that slow, slow, low, low. I don't know if I can pull all over that. Got a link, mush. I can see that kind of. I need to pop that link over right there. Do we have enough? Do we have enough to pull it over? I can't see what's going on the other side, but it doesn't matter. Just snakes his way through. What a great thing this guy is. What a great thing. Despite this being in slot machine, I consider it all part of the super complex that is Dead Limit. So we might as well hit slot 1 while we're here. Because this is a guy that I can't see what the front end is doing. Oh, I see it now. It's not great. There we go. Ooh. Come on. There. Oh, brutal. It's brutal. This is this particular locale is a festival of terrible sounds. See that rear pumpkin hung up there? Slide it, slide it. Okay, there we go. Pumpkin hung again. Yeah, this is like every rig comes through here differently because wheelbase is gonna hurt you or help you. Width is gonna hurt you or help you. I think Yella's actually a little wide. If you were a little bit narrower, I want to say he's around 10.5, maybe 10 5/8. I think 10-inch probably gets through here a little easier. Because like see right there, driver rear hung up a bit. And it's getting that, okay, so now we've fallen in. We gotta try to push right through there. Oh, I thought I had it. Nope. And now that rear is in the same place the front was in, and that's a bad place to be. Thought I could dig position out of it. We're gonna have to try to hit it again. Yeah, he's bellying up. He's bellying up pretty good there. I'm trying the Outrunner low, low, low. Anything I can get. Anything. And also, you know, I'm doing myself no favors. I can't see what that front end is doing. Trying to pop it. He's got the good amount of flex. He's got 3 out of 4 on the ground. A little back pop there. Will it help? Does it help? He was, you know, he was out and I drove him back into it. But I think, I thought we were there. I thought we were there. Can anybody get out this way? I'm gonna use that side lug. I know that rock is slick. Let's see if he falls all the way back in. Lower, slower. Okay, it's about where I want the front end to be. And I think, hey! I was gonna say we were gonna fall back in. Yeah, this is, and I think I'm mostly sure I did mention this is the first wheel on the 3D printed for the Deep Woods. So I gotta learn the profile. I gotta learn where the bite is. And the bite is most everywhere. So if you were here yesterday or saw the video, the SL3D versus Three Brothers, you should be familiar with this little setup. It's a sand with little bits of concrete poking out of it. And for whatever reason, the tusks could just skate across the surface Yeah, that's insane. It's got to be a PSI thing. Like how much weight is literally per square inch that's touching the ground, because the tusks were driving around on this like it was hard pack. And the deep woods are behaving a little more how one would anticipate a tire to be behaving. You see the tire just carving. And the Phoenix is a good bit heavier than Yella here. Yella's pretty light. He's moving into lightest of the fleet, really. And once he gets resprung, well, I think we're going down a full rate. He's running blue-gray. I think we're gonna go to gray in the front, white in the back. He is way, like he's sitting, look how high. He's sitting so high. I think we can pull that CG way, way down. And he's like, it's exactly what I would expect in the sand with the amount of slip. Because even with the low, can we get the low? We'll see just the littlest bits of like, almost like hesitation. Should I be driving around in loose sand with an open outrunner? I mean, probably not. But I do a lot of stuff that I probably shouldn't be doing. Let's do the hit on the dirt, which is still all scarred up. Let's hit that dirt, and then I honestly, I just want to take him to the side hill. I know that we're flying in the face of the wheels a little. The wheels know where to send us, but this is a hybrid episode, so I don't want the wheels to be offended. This is a setup test. This is an insert test. This is a test among a test among a test. And man, does he feel good. I just kind of want to see what we can do. It's like a whole different rig since I wheeled him last. Can he do it? Can he do it? No one has done it. No one has done it without taking the very letter-specific route where you get a tire out over this, push it up, and then you can pull the rear end up like that. Like that's how you have to do it. Well, I mean, that's not entirely true. There is one rig that has managed to pull rear tires straight up over the lip here without just shot a straight shot and pulled it up. But it was RoboKitty, so I'm like, does that count? Like if you have a 16-inch wheelbase, this is easier. You know, this is a thing that is definitely, like you can see that peak there. It's not hitting the belly, but it is definitely in between the wheelbase. So again, we shuttle out. We get this tire up and over, and once you're up and over, you can generally pull the rear end up like that. That angled skid it's right between the triangle of the links in the front. Like that's, any amount of throttle I use to get out of that would probably end pretty bad. Yeah, the top of that rock up there is shaped like a triangle, and it was inside the front triangle. Let's see how we do here on the L. Get that low. We'll slip out right there. I think I might be a hair too far left. Let's try to reposition to the right. Oh, I see it now. Yeah, that's way too far right. Just try the bump line. Little double bump there. Should pull up over the front here, no problem. Skid should clear. I think it's bonking in a little bit. Try a little intermediate bump here. Yeah, and that 4S, that's properly responsive, hanging up there on the tire there. See if I can get this nose end clear. I want to see the compliance here on the front coming right over here. Yeah, no one would be able to tell from looking the outside that there's a 3D insert in there. They're invisible. They just do. Look at those front tires, like on a vertical face, and it's not hooked. It was not hooked on anything. I'm not using any throttle. That was in defiance of gravity. Now, what I want to see is actually, is it invisible to soften the springs? Because softer springs are going to cause more lateral weight transfer. And I want to see how much lateral weight transfer we've got. No, I think it's oversprung. Like the compliance of the tire, it's fighting. Yeah, and Yella's not alone. Yella definitely needs some shock work done. I think Blue Sky High needs some shock work done. He's running Traxxas long arm shocks, the big long ones. I think he needs to go down to like hundreds at the longest, but probably like 90s, 95s, something in that range. A little, like that lack of compliance in the rear, how the rear, you can see it's sliding sideways ever so slightly. I think that's because, and also there's really no body twist. I got my head turned sideways to look at how the body is sitting, and I think it's really working against the tires. The spring choice, the springs are just too stiff. Yeah, look at it, just drop. But also at the same time, most rigs roll out of that. So I mean, it's not a difficult change to make to see if it's something we want. So I will be dropping to the softer rates. You know what? I almost just said I will be switching to the softer rates in the future. And then it occurred to me that I could probably just change them. That entry was phenomenal. Okay, I want to get that front end really over high right here. Oh, that low speed. Oh. Yeah, it's just slipping. Rear end is sliding a little bit. Now, I don't know if that's adding to stability because he's not sliding off, he's just slipping. I definitely think they're too stiff. Like, look how high his front end is riding, and we could bring that down. It's so, like right there. Right there. That should drop down. Like, I should see more. There's my hand. I should see more, like, we should get more of a twist right there. The rear end looks pretty good. There's a lot of load. There's a lot of weight jacked back towards the back, even though he's descending. Sort of. Yeah, that little drop out. This is like a mini Canyon tire test protocol here. Ooh. Yeah, the springs are too stiff. That real toss of the nose right there, but that's way too far to the right, Brody. I think he's on his wheels. He is. He caught on one of the little lips of the like cobblestone-y surface there and just rocking it off. Just disappeared out of sight. Yeah, right here, right? Let me try to get in that same exact spot again. No, got it that time. It had the little And I'm now looking at the angle of the rear shock, and it's laid way down. And if he's sitting this high with the shock laid down that far, it's way too stiff. Way too stiff. I'm hoping that the whites will actually be soft enough. He might need green, and I don't have any greens because I didn't think anything would need a spring that light. He will just position and position. I mean, we're not going to hit them all and be in clear defiance of the wheels, but I do need to get these tests, these mental tests in to know what's what, you know? I can feel the rear link sliding right there. A little more wheel speed. Yeah, that amount of the little shimmy judder, I think it's oversprung. Daphne's. Right, yeah. Like I'm missing the compliance. The tires have it, but they're trying to fight the suspension now. That was pretty good. How tight can we stay in right here? That's a high line. Now, if I could pull that high line, that would be great. And clearly, I did not. Yeah, the links sit pretty good when he's upside down, but then that's showing what the ratio of the sprung weight. So he's got a lot of unsprung weight and no sprung weight. So yeah, I should, you know, I need to weigh him with his wheels off. So Yella is vastly improved. Generally, the big competitive series here in the canyon. Yeah, right there. That was all oversprung right there. He should not have rolled out right there. This tire did not go that high. That's like a near perfect positioning right there. But I think what's happening is, especially in the rear, it can't compress that low. The driver rear will not compress down enough. So the passenger rear is still up off the ground a little bit. So it's not helping. Obviously, because three-wheel motion is not the most efficient way to climb a rock. Now we've got the differential hung up, and that's just a wide shot. That's a no-go there. I feel like I'm gonna feel incomplete if he does not make this today. It was not his assignment, but yeah, I can't. The rear looks like it's getting almost no flex at all. That driver rear should almost be touching the body with the amount of load that's in it. Because I don't know, the axle is not on the rock. It had genuinely not occurred to me, for whatever reason, that he has shed quite a lot of weight and was given like zero accommodation for it. We just were like, well, that's like right there. That's about the limit of the flex right there. And I couldn't get it with all the weight transferred onto the rear axle. That's my bad. These are things that will be addressed. I love the inserts. I love the motor. I love the conversion to 4S. Yella is looking like a performer. I had an unfinished thought. Competitive series usually are either in the spring or the late fall, because then the weather is more accommodating. And we're really starting to get into the time of year where competitive series start to spring up. So hopefully I will have the energy within me to do some 6 gates, some 6 lines, maybe a bigger competitive series. I've been kind of thinking about it on and off about like what will the formatting be for the next competitive series. And the only thing that keeps popping into my head is like a Le Mans type thing where, like, you know, it's not direct competition. Like, because we don't have class 1, class 2, class 3 here in the canyon. It's run what you brung. But you can't put Yella you can't put Lil Yella up against Lil Fella. That's not fair to anyone, right? And then you're gonna throw a TRX6 in there, and you're gonna throw Robo Kitty in there, and a lot of rigs are better at different things. So maybe, oh, see, thought process is going. While you're staring at this fixed image and listening to this RC Crawling podcast, I just had I think the thought, which is like an Olympics almost, right? Crawlympics. Uh-oh, did I just name Crawlympics? Where we pick out events, right? We will generate some events. Performance on this surface, performance on this, the ability to do this. We'll have some timed gates. We'll have the whole big long run, right? and then there'll be deductions for like how many times you fall off. Oh yeah. Now see, now that the gears are turning. So while the gears are turning, please do hop into the comments below and give me some ideas. First off, how are we gonna do qualifying to determine who goes in what class? I mean, some, to me at least, are fairly obvious, like the Colonel, Daphne, Yella, Jake the Snake. Those are all like in the same division. Like those, you know what? Would it be a Crawler Canyon video without him? Like, we either get the police helicopter or we get Kevin. We almost had Kevin, but I was transitioning between setups. I was moving from one spot to the other, and he right down, right over here on the street that goes right by the. I don't know if Kevin's just angry all the time. So now we've all got to think about it. We've got to come together as a community to figure out how we're going to execute CCC, Crawler Canyon Crawlympics, because, well, now I feel like that's a thing we need to do. Like, and get outside the box, everybody. Get outside the box. Like, best turning radius. Like we'll throw that in there. Come on. I don't know what surface to put that on, but we'll give it a try. Best turning radius, no restrictions. So like Yella just did a little, he just U-turned here, right? Like you can do this. Yella's got a pretty tight circle, but he goes out of frame. We'll come back in, we're over here. But then he can do this. I mean, that's a pretty tight turning radius. But you know, there are others that they can literally lock the rear end down. Zoidberg's got dig and four-wheel steer. He can basically rotate in his own length. So we just already figured out who won that one. So, so I guess maybe not unlimited turning radius. It's got to be raw turning radius. I had a good day. You know what? And I'm gonna keep having good Wednesdays because I don't care that nobody watches it. Wheelin' Wednesday is fun to make, and I enjoy the fact that I've got we loyal few who gather together to enjoy the shenanigans every midweek, to watch Wheelin' Wednesday. Is that the first time I said Wheelin' Wednesday? Might have been. I don't know. It's guess what time it is? It's lunchtime. If you're in the UK, it's the middle of the night. If you're on the East Coast, maybe you're up for a late supper. So enjoy that. Do the things that we all do when we're not doing these things. Be absolutely sure to comment below. Like if you like and subscribe if you haven't. Please do consider channel membership and help support the channel. When I remember to put affiliate links down below, if you're already buying something, click an affiliate link. I make like 4 cents. So it's some real, it's not even guacamole money. But you know, think of it this way. If you're clicking an affiliate link, you're taking at least 4 cents out of Amazon's pocket and putting it in mine, which just then goes into buying things like scale hubs and scale hardware and more raw material to weld sort of okay bumpers. So I will see you again very soon. And in between now and then, please, one and all, everyone, do your very best to have a good one. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Yella, me, everybody. We're sitting around waiting for you to show back up.